And my calculation was that I'm really continually having problem finding the place. We're on number Lamed Bet. That's where we're at. Number Lamed Bet. Let's see how this works. So let's go up to number Lamed Aleph to try to remind me what it is that we're talking about up above. So number Lamed Aleph says, "V'zeh yichtov yado l'Hashem." So we had this new idea. Pirush v'zeh habechina al yonah shel zer anpin. So previously he said that zeh referred to zer anpin. And then there was also the passage of zeh as the Zion, because it has also the Chag Nehim. And then the Hay would refer to the Nukva specifically. That's different drushes that they have. Here he calls it the Bechina Chal Yonah Shel Zer Anpin. Shehim Medachaz of the Malas from the chest going upwards. He says Yichtov Yado. So what is that, the meaning of that phrase? Yichtov Yado Harom is the Sod Hamocha Nikroim Yad Kosevet. Now this is like a descriptive way of talking about the Mochin. I thought the Mochin were like, say, juice. Like you pour the juice in. Here he says Yad Kosevet. It's a Lashon Gevurah, really. It's like a Gevurah. When you write something, that's a Gevurah. So, but I don't know what he means. It's the Yud Dalet that writes. I'm not sure what that means. So we're talking about the upper part of their anpin, which is like the Yisrael area. Shorsham min Abba ve'ima harumaza b'milas lahashem canal. So it said the Mochin that we're talking about here come out of Abba ve'ima as a result of their yichud. B'milas lahavaya canal, as we explained that the Lamed over there, which is also, I don't see that had been in evidence that we ever saw someplace where it says that the Lamed refers to Ima. I'm trying to think of what, run through my mind to think of what could be. Is the Ima is also, I don't know, one of the part of the, what we call the Makifim, the Lamed, the Lamed, I don't know, like the middle part of Ima, I'm not sure. Just the same, where do we get that idea? And then Havaya refers to Abba. Okay, could be. Let's look at number Lamed Bet and see if there's any more that we could glean from this. Lamed Bet says, Rei beferish Marie Sarok, let's over there, V'zel Deshana, V'zel Yichtov Yado D'Hashem. Yichtov Yado. So we already got that at the Yad Kosevis. L'Hashem. Pirush. This concept of zeh we're talking about, and it was corrected, or it seems to me that we want to say this from the Chazan. He wants to say this from the Chazan, not the Tibura. Shesham hi hayud sha'al hazayin. So he says at that place, I guess he means going upwards. I'm going to picture it as the Chazan. Is where this Yud is located, Shel HaZayin, which is on top of the Zion. Shel Marno Shehi Besod Rosh Shel Zer Anpin, which is the secret of the Rosh Zer Anpin. I just want to read it one more time. He said, B'abachina Shel Zer HaNizgar Shehu Mitibur Shel Zer Anpin Ulamala. So he said the upper section is Zer Anpin. Shisham hi hayud, that on the upper section of Zer Anpin is where you find the yud that's on top of the Zion. Shel hazayin she'amarno shehu besod rosh shel Zer Anpin. So it's obviously in the upper section of Zer Anpin. Sham mekabel Zer Anpin hamochin, and that's the place where Zer Anpin receives the mochin on that yud. Shelo min netzach hod shel iman. Where does it come from? He didn't say it in Yisod, I don't think. He said Zer Anpin, HaMochin Shalo, where he receives his Mochin, that is the Chochman, his Ochman, his Bina, I guess, comes from Netzach and Hod Shal Ima, Shehem Besod Yud Dalet. So I guess that I'm not sure that I know this either. he says that the Netzach and Hod of Ima are the secret of the word Yad, or Yud Dal. So it's a secret, now he says, Yad Kosevis. It's the secret of Yad Kosevis. This is Ava Ve'ima Besod. He says that the Netzach and Hod inside from Ima are in fact carrying the Mochin, which is the Yad Kosevis, Gamosha Amr Rashby, B'tikun Yisrael B'tikun Yud Ches. So he said, V'gam Milas Yado, also this word Yado, Hu Osius Yud. Once again, it's a remez, L'zos Yud Shamarno, this Yud that we're talking about, which finishes off the top of the Vav and makes it into a Zayin. V'amar la Hashem, Shuhu Robas the Abba v'ne'emba k'tiparashno. So I didn't really hear the remez that, okay, so it says that Chochmah is related to Zeranpin is usually where you see the manifestation of the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei, but maybe what it means is that the Yud-Kei Vav-Kei is more or less hidden, or it's very panimistic, it's an Abba, and then it manifests in Zeranpin. So that's why you have two Havayas there, maybe. V'amar Hashem shuhu Ramaz the Abba v'imba k'tiparashna. V'gavana b'zeh l'ramos. So the Gavana on this is to tell us this, this hint, Lano, Shahamochim shal zer anpin, lo bo lo men ima bilvad. They don't only come from ima. Now, let's see this again. Let me go back. It said v'amar Hashem, so it says and to Hashem. So he said Romez the Abba. So that tells us the Abba. So you have the La Hashem, Zel Hashem. So he said v'ima ketifrash l'chuvakavona v'zel the Moshe shalon shamochim shal zer anpin. Lo ba lo min ima bilvad. They don't just come from ima. There's something hidden inside of ima, which is Abba. Elokoyim b'luvashim gam b'nai shal Abba. But the Mochin are also in the nai of Abba. Adkan. Now I have a question of why here he said the nai. He says the word nai, and up above he said Netzach and Hod. Why didn't he put the Yusod in there? I would have thought that you would be talking, but he wanted to talk about Chochmah and Bina, which is the Netzach Hod. I don't know. Hine Masha Shetzayin la Tikun Zohar Tikun Yud Ches Besov Yad Kosevis. So that particular fact that is pointed to this concept of this Yad Kosevis. Lo Matzinos, I don't know, Aeneas, I don't know what this phrase is. I looked it up. I couldn't find anything I really liked. Lo Matzino. He couldn't find a reference. La'ayin Alov, Lo Matzino, La'ayin Alov, something like that.
Le'es Ata.
Le'es Ata. Like it.
And so far.
Yeah, I got it. Great. Le'es Ata. Okay, Le'es Ata. So Lo Matzino Le'es Ata. I haven't found anything about this. So this is because to me it's like a metaphor that it says that the Mochin, what they do is they carve out their way, something like that. Because I see like writing is like carving or something like that. Maybe. So you said over there, Mavur Yad Kosevis, the Yad Kosevis, and this sounds a little bit better to me, Hu Amudadim Seisa the Haidach Teferis. It's really the middle line. Because that balances, it moves, it could be like it writes this way, right that way, it's like a metaphor like that. So he says that also it's like that, Lahalon. Shum. Ulam ha'inyan v'vura b'shara kavanos. He says over there, ukasivis ukvasiva b'tzad the gevura shabo. So the writing is really in relationship to the gevura that's in it. Who al yedei habina hanikros kasiva. So once again he says a kasiva b'tzad the gevura shabo. The gevura is on the left line. It comes out of ima. Ima is the one that actually forms, or as the inspiration, to form up the Gevuros, who are Yidecha Bina, Hanikras Kasiva. Bina is called the writer, or writing. Okay, let's go on a little bit more. We're going back to this upper Bechina of Zer Anpin, which is this Yud, which is on top of the Vav, makes the letter Zayin. B'Shem Yisrael Yechane. So also we call this by the name of V'Amach of Yechane Mamish. What's this mean? I have a check by this, so maybe it means something. So he says, he says V'Amach Yechane Mamish. So number Lamed Gimel says, Benidfas Huka B'Sugusogri. So he says that in the I guess the original publication it was bracketed. The Tevis Yechana Chashen is the second one. It says Yechana second time. Okay, so he says Vahu al pi defus zlotz Atzalbach. I guess Zolzbach. There you go.
Yeah.
Zolzbach. Yeah, it's someplace in Germany, I guess. Verheim listen tape zucher mit de Fuß Grimona, tampoco either. Amnam isa mit de Fuß Rishon Mantova, but de Fuß Amsterdam. Verheim ku beferish Marisa Rook. Now, listen, let me tell you something. I just had to say this is that I listened to these Henry Abinson tapes or his things about Jewish history. And he said the DNA studies show that the Ashkenaz Jews are descended from northern Italy, mostly. Just interesting that you see this that wandered into France, France, for business, and stayed there like that, trying to survive. A family called Colonimus was amongst those that were most wandered, but that we have a very strong resemblance to Italians. And it's because we mix with Italians, both southern and northern Italians, particularly northern Italians, with the Jewish part, whatever it is. I live in it. This Boca Raton is now an Italian. It's an Italian neighborhood. In Miami Beach, I felt it was a Hungarian neighborhood. It's interesting, but here a lot of the Gentiles are Italians. Very nice people. Anyway, just thought I'd say that. Throw that in there. Sorry. Number Lamed Dalet. So we'll go from Lamed Gimel, which says Yechane Mamish. So he said, Nikra Yisrael Be'etzem Kolomer. So it itself is I guess the essence of is of the name Yisrael Kolomer. After Abba Nikra B'Shem Yisrael Saba. This is a little confusing to me. So he wants to say that this is also Yisrael. This is a Yisrael aspect of Zer Anpin. He says that Abba is also known as Yisrael Saba. He says Amnam Gam Zer Anpin Min Achaz Lamala, but also Zer Anpin from that upper reach there is also called by the same name, B'Shem Yisrael. So he seems to be, he's intimating that these two names really go together. Vu Bechinas Nar Yisrael. This is the child Israel. So in other words, you had the grandfather Yisrael. Now you have the child. So I think this is Lamed Dalet. So he says, here's the Risarok. He says, Rei Beferis the Risarok. Look over here, he says. Over Shem Yisrael Yechane Mamish. What's that all about? Koloma Shekino Yashem Azeh. So the kino of the name showed Yisrael. Yisrael is like a nickname or what's another better word for nick? You want to say nickname it's an alternate name. Sheyesh the Zer Anpin, the Zer Anpin from that particular Bechina, which he calls Tibura L'Lamala. You really have to ask why this word Tiburo is, since we understand it's the Chaza, why it keeps coming in. They keep playing this word Tibura L'Lamala. Does it mean that maybe there is some affect from that glow, maybe a glow or something like that from the Chaza that goes all the way down to the Tibur? I don't know why it keeps bringing Tibur, but it does. Mitzad Osach b'Bechina b'Min Tibur L'Lamala Yikrach b'Zer Anpin b'Shem Zeh Yisrael be'etzem. So I don't know what etzem means. It's ultimately Yisrael. Etzem, the root of that area, something like that, is Yisrael. It's founded there. It's not just a label. So it's not just another name. It's actually rooted there. There's a root there. So then ve'ez ve'im tema. So he says, where do we get the idea that it's not like a label, really just a label? You say, okay, Maishna min Hashem Yaakov. So what's actually the difference? He says min Hashem Yaakov, because it's Yaakov for the Chazal the Mata. Da. I don't know if I can get this. The Salchel Dai Techamina, what I want to say is like this: since Abba is from the Tibura of Lamata, so actually, this is saying that Abba is actually, let's see, from the section of Abba from the Tibur going downwards of Abba's Tibur, Nikra Yisrael. Lo Yechan is there Anpin b'Shem Yisrael. So therefore, since that area is called Yisrael, the lower part, let me read it again. Da the Salkal Dad Amina Kevin Sha'aba Mitibur Lamata Nikra Yisrael. That's Yisrael Saba. Lo Yechan is there Anpin b'Shem Yisrael. So therefore, we're not going to put the label Yisrael on Zer Anpin. Kamash Milan Kamalet, and here that's not right. The Ikvas Bezed, the opposite is true. Ela Sha'aba Mitibura Lamala. Yeah, so he says, so it's an alternate possibility, the Tibura of Lamata. So this is on the Gillian of the Ksav Yad, Nikra Yisrael Saba, so this, again, that same idea. Zer Anpin, Mitibura of Lamala, so meeting that Yisrael that's coming down inside, is where Zer Anpin reaches up, so to speak, Mitibur Lamala Nikra Nar Yisrael. So he's the child, like the child of Yisrael. Adgan. So look, it's kind of a match in some way, in that way. Oh, the Ha'ara Chabad, so there's going to be a Ha'ara coming up on that. We'll see how that goes. So we're actually on number Lamed Hey, and I think there's something in Lamed Hey also. So after Lamed Daled, it says Hanikra Bezoer B'Shem Yisrael Zuta. So where do we get this Yisrael Zuta? So here we go again. So he says that he's B'Priyetz Chaim over there. Abba Nechloch the base. Now this, I wanted to say that we had at the very beginning of this, with the Maba, we were doing the Rishash, that we looked very quickly at the Ovi, the concept of Ovi, the 5-part Sufim in Ovi. And when you looked at each one of them in Orech, I always thought that Yisrael Sabbath Devuna surrounded Abba V'Ima Elohim. That Abba V'Ima Elohim went all the way through, and they surrounded them, and so therefore would be outside of them. But the drawing that he showed there was that Abba V'Ima are really, they're the same. It's just the upper part of it and the lower part. That seems to be matching what this is saying to me. So anyway, he says, look at the Britz Chaim, the Eitz Chaim, the Pri-Eitz Chaim. Abba Nechlach the Beis, Abba V'Yisrael Saba. V'Nikrach B'Saba Be'erik Zer Anpin, and he's called Saba, the grandpa, because in relation to Zer Anpin, Shem Nikra Yisrael Zuta, which is called Yisrael Zuta. Adkan. Lul. Avahu Mavur Bezor, also over there in the Zohar Ksiv Ki Nar Yisrael Havas of Avehu. It's like a child of the Jews, and I will love him. So he says like this: Yisrael Zuta. That's called the little Israel. Shema Yisrael, Yisrael Saba. So when you say Shema Yisrael, there you're calling on which Yisrael, and that's a very interesting thing I haven't thought about. Is that you have these two Yisraels here. Now he says that when you say Shema Yisrael, we say Shema, right? Which Shema, which Yisrael are you talking about? Because now he says there's two possibilities. There you're talking Yisrael Saba, Adkan, and it starts going through the understanding of the word Yisrael, I guess. That's to bring the Mochin, the Jews, coming from Abba, which is underneath Ima, or inside. The Reb Zohar also, where it said that Yisrael Saba, begin is Zuta. Why do we call him Yisrael Saba? Well, this is a good question. This will let you know that there's a child. There's the Yisrael Zuta. The Chsev Nar Yisrael, because it says Nar Yisrael. And I think Lamed Vav is not particularly interesting. And that's it for the shir today. And tomorrow, Mitzvah Hashem, we'll go look at the next part.
Very good.
We'll call to it.